So, ever so briefly, some colleagues may know that about 4 years ago, the Welsh Government decided to make Wales a nation of sanctuary. This is something which I feel really proud of the Welsh Government for doing, because their policies, their ideas, are in complete contrast really to the UK Westminster Government, which doesn't really support the idea of sanctuary in the way the Welsh Government does. And this Nation of Sanctuary Refugee and Asylum Seeker plan really encourages lots of parts of civic society, universities, schools, colleges, museums, libraries, to really play a part in making Wales a nation of sanctuary. And really taking inspiration from that, back in 2018, 2019, we applied for the University of South Wales to become a University of Sanctuary. And fortunately, we got the award. We became a University of Sanctuary. And this was awarded to us for the things that we've tried to do, which made the university think all the time about issues surrounding migration, forced migration, and for people who are in the asylum process. And what it means is we can offer awards and scholarships. So, for example, every year, if you are a person seeking asylum and you want to study, you can't. The current UK law prohibits people in the asylum system from getting student finance. But lots of universities, including South Wales, now offers scholarships. So people in the asylum system can apply to do a master's degree or an undergraduate degree. It also means being recognised as a University of Sanctuary that refugee and asylum issues are now in the strategic equality plan. And that means the university says, well, we will try to do X, Y, and Z by 2024. And when 2024 comes, we can be held to account and look, are we still doing the things that we said we would do? So it's embedding these issues in the university culture. So, for example, we've been working with the Welsh Refugee Council for 8 or 9 years, providing what's called ESOL, English language education, to folks who have recently arrived and were going through the asylum process. We also offer the Refugee Sanctuary Scheme. Now, if you have refugee status, it means you can get student finance, you can go and do a degree or a master's degree the same as anybody else in Wales, whether you're from Port Talbot or Swansea or whatever. What you can't get funding for is for language education to help you overcome that barrier. And so USW, University of South Wales, launched a refugee sanctuary scheme which pays for intensive, full-time language education courses for any refugee who wants to start studying in university but doesn't have the language level required. And these are the sort of things which convince the City of Sanctuary charity, convince the people awarding refugee University of Sanctuary status to give us this title. That's not so sensitive now. Okay. And through working with the refugee and the asylum seeker community, we've been able to build up quite a lot of expertise and knowledge and understanding of the area. And this means that we can do research, and more importantly, we can do things. We can take real action to help the lives of folk who are come to Wales basically to escape wars or persecution or suffering, whatever it may be. And so that means over the last couple of years, we've written reports for Universities UK about the importance of universities providing language education. And we've written reports to the Welsh Government on what are the barriers that somebody new in Wales faces when they want to try to enter employment. And these are all a result really of us being a University of Sanctuary and being able to use that to get funding to explore these issues. But also, it gives us a chance to challenge some misconceptions. I don't know if you saw, if anybody saw this week, a think tank, a government think tank released a report. And in this report, it started using words such as illegal asylum seeker and started using factual information that wasn't correct. And the language in the report is really, really important because the media, the mainstream media, the printed media, newspapers, TV, Twitter, fed back on this report. It released the findings of this report. And this report contained really strong language that put people seeking asylum in quite a negative light. We know that the government often uses words such as swarm and invasion. And this creates a mindset. This is connected to the government ideology of othering people and blaming people. And the report, which was released earlier this week, was actually challenged the day before yesterday by the United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR, and they came out and publicly said this. They said, this UK government report contains critical, factual and legal errors. And they said, there is no such thing as an illegal asylum seeker. This is staggering. This is the UNHCR criticising the UK government. The UK government doesn't care. And there is no such thing as an illegal asylum seeker because the 1951 UN Refugee Convention states that there's no such thing. Ironically, the British government was a co-writer of that convention. How times change. So, by researching and by doing work in this area, we have a responsibility to challenge any misconceptions about refugee issues. And with regard to this idea of misconceptions, I wonder, I'm going to ask you, how many people are seeking sanctuary in the UK? So, the government, UK Westminster government is constantly talking about the numbers of people seeking asylum and the numbers of people who are refugees in the UK. I'm going to ask someone to be brave now, please. How many people do you think are actually seeking asylum each year in the UK? Asking for safety from persecution or war each year in the UK? Please put your hand up and have a guess. You could guess 13, 8,000, whatever. 100,000, says the woman on the front. Thank you. Well, if the radio is reporting on the UK government's report, I'd be careful. 100,000 people are seeking sanctuary in the UK. Anything?
I think there's over 100,000 asylum claims that haven't yet been dealt with, which is possibly where we can be. It's a lot less than about 30,000.
100,000 if you think about the waiting list and the backlog, so year on year on year building up, yeah? 30,000, I don't know, I don't know what's in your head. What do you think? Really? I'm really keen to know what the public thinks about it. Six people. 6 people. 6,000. Oh, 6,000, I'm sorry. 6,000, wow. 100,000, 6,000, 30,000, wow. Anybody else think? I thought it was 10,000.
How about 50,000 came across Channel?
50,000 came across the channel. Okay. Shall we have a look? Okay, here are the numbers. This is from 2018, 2019, right? But the numbers haven't really changed year on year since then. If you look at the left of the graph, you'll see Germany has the largest number, over 150,000 applications for asylum. Similar in France, Spain and Italy, economies and population sizes similar to the UK. The actual number for the UK, unsurprisingly, is on the far right. 30,000. Far fewer, so whoever said 30,000, well done. Far fewer than Germany, France, Spain, Greece, Italy, far fewer. And yet, the mainstream media, the government, the press would have us believe it was Britain takes in far more people than other countries. Not true. If we look at this with regards to per head of population, because people often say, oh, we're a very small country. country that's taken in most per 10,000 population is Cyprus, 153 folks per 10,000. You see, Germany, third from bottom, 23. UK, only 8. So Germany takes in 8 times, processes 8 times, 4 times as many asylum claims as the UK. Really not what UK government would have us believe. So we've got a job to do. We have to challenge these misconceptions. We have to research what's beneficial for those guys in our community. And as a university, really uniquely placed to do these things, and lots more. So for example, we recently started a USW STAR group. STAR, a Student Action for Refugees group. And those guys who started this are here today. Well done, guys. Bravo to you for taking This is just starting, but it's really important because it's a way of bringing people together, and it's a way of holding information events, for example, the challenge, such misconceptions, but also holding conversation clubs and things to bring people together. Certainly the staff I have spoken to in the university have enjoyed and loved being part of this, because it gives them the chance to meet new folks, to better understand what's happening in other countries. And then there are other things that we can do as a university, such as design and launch as many participatory projects as we can. And what this does is allows researchers and lecturers and local people to come together with folks new to our community, seeking sanctuary. And when the folks come together, of course, we create friendships, we break down misunderstandings, we form bonds, and we basically are all enriched. And so I would argue that universities are really, really crucially placed. From a research level, from an actual activist level, and from certainly from a language education level. Thank you, everyone.